Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Shivam, you're audible.
Uh,
Hi.
so, hi.
I
So,
think
good evening,
you're
everyone.
there's a bit lag at your end from for internet.
Uh,
Can you try speaking again, maybe?
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah, you can go ahead.
So, I'm starting. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Myself, Shivam Saini, sophomore from IIT Guwahati. On behalf of ESL IIT Guwahati, I warmly welcome you all to today's speaker session of Product Matter 6.0. Product Matter is a month-long bootcamp designed to help aspiring product enthusiasts explore the fundamental of product management, learn from industry leaders, and gain practical insight into building impactful product. Today, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Shoaib Hussain. Mr. Shoaib Hussain is a senior product manager at Blinkit and an esteemed alumni of IIT Guwahati. Over the course of his career, he has worked across leading organizations such as Lenskart and KPMG, gaining extensive experience in product strategy, user-centric problem solving, business growth, and scaling digital products. Today's session is titled From Idea to Launch How PMs Ship Great Products. Through this session, Mr. Hussain will take us through the journey of transforming an idea into a successful product, sharing practical insight into product thinking, prioritization, execution, cross-functional collaboration, and what it really takes to deliver great product to users. We are delighted to have him with us and look forward to an insightful and engaging session. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Sohaib Hussain to take over the session.
Thank you so much, Shivam, for that warm introduction. Hi everyone. So just to confirm, are you guys working right now, or are you all are students? You guys can try raising your hands too. If you guys are not students, you guys are already working, maybe to give me a sense of like, are all of you like aspiring PMs from college, or like you guys are working already and wants to like switch careers to PM maybe? So I'm not able. Shivam, are these guys allowed to raise hands or send reactions, or is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just us?
yeah. They are allowed to raise their hands.
So I think all of the folks are aspiring PMs who are in currently college, it seems. Is it? You guys
Yeah,
Sir,
can raise
actually,
hands if
there's
you guys
a
are in college. Yes, bro.
mixed pool of working professionals as well as college students, and there are even few school students who are interested in business and related stuff.
Nice, Dhruv. Nice. Thank you so much. And these guys are, I think, not allowed to mute, but these guys are allowed to type, right? Because I wanted to keep the session interactive. So you guys can add chats. So just can anyone like comment a hi in the chat maybe? Hi Rahul. Hi Nikhil. Hi Princey. Hi Sai. Perfect, guys. Perfect. So I created a presentation for you guys. I'll quickly like share my screen as well. Yes, here's the option. I hope it's visible. I'm in the slideshow mode. Hello, I'm Shoaib, right? So I like personally I love storytelling, right? So I've created a Bitmoji of myself. You guys must have seen my AI generated DP in the poster. So in every 6 months, I love like changing my look as well. So to tell you about myself, I currently am a senior PM. I'm sure I love solving problems, right? I'm currently working with Blinkit. You guys know Blinkit, right? I hope you guys know Blinkit. Just ping me once, right? Just add a yes in the chats, please, because initially I thought that everyone can speak, but usually I like doing interactive sessions. Thank God you guys know Blinkit. Nice. Do you guys know Scream for Ice Cream by any chance? How many of you like ended up screaming during like exams when we ran that campaign? So believe me or not, believe it or not, guys, I was the PM of that, right? So in Blinkit, I own multiple things, right? I primarily I take care of pool activation stuff. So you guys, so whenever you see, say, a Snatch Wars in Rakhi, or say a single mode or couples mode in Valentine's Day, or say Scream for Ice Cream campaign from Blinkit, I'm the one behind it. It's my team which usually work in ideating, right? Creating and brainstorming ideas on the whiteboard, and then probably, making cool creative designs, designing a good go-to-market strategy, and finalizing the idea, writing a good specifications document for it, and ultimately then getting it developed by the fellow engineering team. So that's how we usually do it. So again, coming back to the point, I currently work with Blinkit. I take care of activation stuff and mostly ads. I'll tell you a bit in detail about that too. Prior to this, I was in Lenskart. I was also taking care. I was taking care of cool stuff there too. So you guys must have heard of AR try-on of Lenskart. The glorified Snapchat version of Lenskart is basically AR try-on, in which it turns on your camera and you can view any of the glasses on your face. I was the product manager of that too. So I was hired. Initially it was supposed to be a gimmicky feature. It was sort of a filter only. And Piyush and Ramneek is also a co-founder of Lenskart. They reached out to me, and they said that they wanted to create business out of it, because I was already carrying a gaming experience before that. So they wanted to create a business out of user coming on the app, turning on the camera, and then the user should be able to visualize the frame on their face. And yeah, I spent like 2.5 years at Lenskart. We were able to create a handsome business out of that, probably roughly like 25 to 30 lakhs a day, right from AR try-on. I'll be explaining that too. So just to summarize, I currently work at Blinkit. I was at Lenskart before that. I used to take care of cool AR try-on feature. Prior to that, I was in the mobile gaming industry. So I have been a gamer, right? I was in one of the word games. So I was a product manager for monetizations. And before that, I started off my career right after college. I went to real money gaming industry, which is shut right now. So this has been so for me, it's been close to 6 7 years now in product management. I love solving problems. I also graduate and come from IIT Guwahati. I come from Brahmaputra hostel. For those who are from IIT Guwahati, they might know the hostel name. So everything started off in college only, right? So I come from Kota, Rajasthan. Came to college, right? I was born and brought up in Kota. I wanted to work on myself. Eventually realized that I love problem solving, right? I was the GenSec. We used to interact with students on a regular basis. So there were a lot of stakeholders involved, talking to students, talking to wardens, talking to caretakers, right? Talking to also brands. There were a lot of stakeholders to manage. They had their own problems, right? We used to manage the disputes. We used to build things which used to solve problem for them, be it a gym, for example, right? Or or say creating a social media page to express our daily cultural activities is again problem solving. So that sort of built a problem solving appetite in the college. And then I wanted to start something of my own in long term, but COVID hit in 2021. So that's where all of us were sent back home. We were in peak. We started working on our own idea as well, but we were sent back home, and that's where I started researching that how you can be a mini CEO of a company. Point number one. Point number two, what we should do if we love problem solving in general. We want to solve problem for the end customer. We want to solve problem, say, for a big business also. That's where everything converges to product management, and that's where I started learning more about it. So as a part of this lecture, I don't know if my screen is visible or not. Is my screen visible? So we will be covering a few things. Let me walk you through the flow of this presentation. There is no flow of this presentation, right? Let me walk you through like this only. First of all, I'll tell you what I do, right? What a product manager do. Then uh, I'll tell you a story on how we came up with a concept, right? And then how we like brainstormed and created a feature out of it, a small feature out of it, how we failed, right? And then how we like double down on that failure, how we understood that why we failed, and then we doubled down, and how we were able to like encounter it and solve it. and what kind of goodness which we received after that. And then probably once I've covered that story, I'll tell you guys on how you guys, let's say if you guys are aspiring PMs, how you can break that ice between you and the product management, how you can go from 0 to 1 in product management. Because from 1 to n it's a very different journey altogether. I'll tell you my story as well. So as I was mentioning about, so till here, are you guys with me? Just give me probably a thumbs up or yes in the chats. Shivam, what about you? Are you into product management too? Do you like product management? Are you aspire to be are you an aspiring PM too?
Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Dhruv? I think you are a head of product of eCell.
Yes, sir. I'm head of product at ESL IT Guwahati.
Nice, nice. So I think you guys, y- so I think what motivated you? Let me ask you first, what motivated you to join product management?
At very start, I was like really interested in business and related stuff, and I love solving problems. So product management was naturally the very first choice as a career for me, like
Okay.
when I entered the college.
You guys won't believe the definition of product management and product manager as a role changes from company to company. For example, uh, in real money gaming, most of the Dream Elevens of the world, right? Rummy circles of the world, Rummy cultures of the world, they expect your PMs to be designers as well, right? Now, when I came to the second company, which was Play Simple Games, they expect the PM to be an analyst as well. 70% of the time, we used to pull the data as well. When I came to Lenscard, on the other hand, they expected PMs to be like end-to-end owners of the projects. Say you will be the QA, you will be the tech, you will be the product, you will be the design, you will be the business side owner too. And it was required to and PM is required to be more customer centric and customer backwards, not business backwards but customer backwards. And in Winkit, trust me, it's an amalgamation of everything. So to tell you guys a story, so since the session is about from ideation to launch, how we were able to how great products are built, right? So to give you a sense of Lenskart, Lenskart Lenskart is a chashme ki dukaan. We have all of us know that it's a platform which sells eyeglasses, right? It has a presence globally in India, Southeast Asia, and Middle East. Now, when I joined Lenskart, their daily revenue was some lakhs, right? So they have two primary modes of operation. One is online, one is offline. And online contributes to roughly 10% of the overall pie. तो मान लो 100 रुपए का बिजनेस आता है तो 10 रुपए का बिजनेस कम्स फ्रॉम ऑनलाइन बिजनेस and 90 rupees ka business comes from offline, because inherently people buy eyeglasses offline only. People have been buying eyeglasses offline only. In order to counter that, we started off our online business, that let's try changing this perception and make people buy glasses online. So let me give you the business context of Lenskart online and where exactly I fit into picture. So why there is 10%? Why there's only a 10 rupees ka business from Lenskart online and not say 20, 30 or 50 rupees ka business out of 100 rupees ka business? Can anybody like write in comments or tell, or probably Dhruv or Shivam, you can also take a stab at it, that why there's very less business share of Lenskart online as compared to Lenskart offline? Why people buy offline? Today, if you guys are wearing glasses while going through this session, right? If you are wearing eyeglasses already, have you bought it online or offline? Yeah, people said we can try lenses on the face. Perfect. So they can try it is one thing, because people wants to try wear glasses first. Bilkul. Reliability and trust, physical feel, exactly. Fitting is a very good point. I mean, you guys are bang on. I mean, you guys have clearly identified there are essentially 3-4 things which a customer look for when they buy offline or why they buy offline. One is how the glass will look on me. Point number one, how will I able to visualize it? Rahul, usually ऐसा होता है ना, eye test में in most of the cases you already have a prescription right? So a customer can upload it, but at core, we Lenskart have broken down it very properly, that why people buy offline. Some of you have, I think, already identified it. Point number one is the user should be able to visualize themselves in the chashma. Ki how will it look on me? Point number one. Point number two is the quality, or how will it fit on me? That is the size. At times, what happens is today Shoaib is wearing a oversized chashma, for example. Shoaib has a extra wide face, right? So this chashma has a size of extra wide, right? Now let's say this chashma has a size of narrow. What will happen? It will not fit on my face only. Or say the counter bit. Let's say Shoaib has an extra narrow face and is trying an extra wide chashma. It might, whenever I bow down my head, it will fall off. So these are the key problems which remains, and that's what our online business wanted to solve. So like roughly in 2023, when I joined Lenskart, these were the two problems which they were trying to solve. So for how will it look on me, there were two possible solution directions. One was, let's try visualizing it on the app itself. कि यार एक बार कुछ AR जैसा कुछ बना के देखते हैं, right? Second is, why not send set of 5 glasses to home, जो home try on होता है. Were the two solution directions which we were exploring. And the third was around size, and the second problem was around size and fit. तो end user को while without even touch and feel, बिना touch and feel के कैसे app पर ही we have to explain the fit of the user, fit of the chashma on the face. So these were the two primary statements which the business was trying to solve. One was how will it look on me, and second whether it will fit me or not. How will it look on me के दो solutions आते हैं. एक तो घर पे ही चश्मा भेज दो, home try on. या second है build a very good and scalable AR try on solution. They didn't have expertise in that. For size and fit, they were exploring solutions like a magic ruler, right? What you do is you put your chashma and you measure it directly. Or second, just scan your face once, and due to some data points on your face, they'll be able to tell the width of the face, and accordingly, they already have a chashme ka width. With that, they'll be able to tell you that, hey, whether it will perfectly fit, could fit, may not fit, etc. So these were the two problems. Yes, exactly, like Apple ruler. So in 2023, I got a text from Ramneek. He is the fourth co-founder. He owns the whole product and tech for Lenskart. I already had a gaming background, and I was, I have been involved in BT stuff, like, innovative problem solving, or say launching new business units in the existing companies. I had sort of created an aura of myself. So he reached out to me and he said that, hey, Shoaib, this is the problem statement, and we want to solve the problem of how will the chashma look on the face of the user by using AR. Now we have been an e-commerce business throughout, right? We need someone from the gaming background. We want to create the experience engaging, so that the user comes and the user is able to try the chashmas on their face, and then probably it will help the user to take the decision. Was the problem statement. I found it very interesting. I joined Lenskart. Now, when I joined, these guys were piloting with some third party. What they used to do was, you just click a selfie and they'll just add a chashme ka PNG on the face of the user. That's it. That was the solve these guys had back then. And the second was they sort of created some filters for campaigns. मतलब जैसे मान लो, let's say a solution, a collection is launched. For example, Jailer का collection launch हुआ है, या John Jacobs का कुछ collection launch हुआ है, तो उसके 4 चश्मों का filter बना दिया, and the user will be able to visualize it. But the core problem with that was that experience, that those glasses were not realistic at all. It was just a gimmicky feature. Roughly 10% of all my users used to try it, and none of them used to buy it. Then what was the point of trying it? So initially it was supposed to be just like a gimmicky feature. Now a quick metric download to you guys. Daily active users is basically the number of users who are coming on Lenskart, who are launching the app. My feature had roughly 10% adoption initially. Adoption means number of users trying that particular feature divided by total users coming. These are the two metrics which you guys should keep in mind. Now, initially, my and the second thing was number of users who are actually buying the chashma after trying AR. So there are two type of users now. One is who are not trying AR and buying, classic users. Second is who are trying AR and buying. So my goal as a PM was to increase two things. One is I have to increase the number of people buying chashma through AR. Point number one, that is conversion from AR. So in e-commerce, there are the most important metrics is conversion from the app. Conversion is basically number of users who are actually making a purchase divided by total number of users who are actually coming on the app. In the AR try-on context, it will be number of users who are purchasing the product after trying AR divided by total number of users who tried AR. Point number one. Point number two is adoption of AR. What percentage of my overall users are trying AR? Were the two metrics I wanted to double down on. Right? Are you guys with me till here? I know I speak a lot, and it was supposed to be an interactive session, but you guys are not allowed to speak. Probably Dhruv and Shiv, you guys can ask me doubts if possible. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Now, whenever a problem statement is given to us, guys, what happens is uh, there mota there are three things which you should do. This doesn't apply just to product management. This applies in general too. You can encounter any problem with that. Just apply first principle. What I mean by first principle is pehle try it like a user itself. I mean, I wear eyeglasses. I have been wearing eyeglasses from 9th standard. What I did was, now I am in Lenskart. I wanted to empathize with my end user that currently if they are trying AR, what is the problem they are facing? So my first job is to try the app just like a user because I am a user myself and just go through the experience once. So this will involve your classic user journey. I open the app, right? I see, first of all, I try to find Lenskart. I try to find AR try on. Is the app good enough or is the feature good enough to educate the customer right away that, hey, try AR try on? Or the customer is actually like, customer is actually, having a hard time finding the feature. Then once you are in the experience, how is the experience like? Right? How easily am I able to switch the glasses? Point number one. Point number two, कितना अच्छा दिख रहा है चश्मा? Say for example, if I'm trying a metal chashma versus I'm trying a classic hustler plastic का चश्मा, or say this acetate का चश्मा, right? Are they looking close to real chashma or not? Is the core experience? How bad is it? How good is it? That's how we audit, right? And ultimately, am I able to make purchase or not? Or is it good enough for me to take the call or not? Is the first thing which we usually do. So whenever we are given a problem statement, first of all, we audit the experience ourselves. खुद देखेंगे एक बार जाके कि what exactly is happening, and we create hypothesis कि this must be happening and this is the reason why people are not buying. Right? So there were three things which I found with this audit. पहली चीज थी यार, the quality of the chashma. So whenever you'll open Snapchat, Instagram stories of the world, or say Lenskart AR try on for that matter, 80% of the screen is the camera in which आपका चेहरा दिख रहा होता है. So your primary attention is on your face and the chashma you are trying. Now the core problem there was the quality of the chashma was very poor and the fit of the chashma too was very poor. Which means, let's say if I'm trying a metal frame, it is looking like a plastic frame. I'm trying a red frame, it is looking like a pink frame. Then the second thing is, in most of the cases, roughly 3 out of my 10 assets were able to load. तो load हो रहा है तो गंदा तो दिख ही रहा है वो. At the same time, 3 out of 10 cases में ही load हो रहा है वो. That means my asset का size, चश्मे का size is too much that it is consuming a lot of internet connection. Right? So in 70% of the cases, चश्मा दिख ही नहीं रहा, बस कैमरा दिख रहा है. And the third thing is the number of products out of my all products जिन पे AR है were less than 20%. So let's say if I have roughly 7,000 products in the system right now, सिर्फ 700 products पर AR है, जिसमें से most selling products भी नहीं है वो. So there were 3 problems which we identified: the quality of the assets. Let's say if the user has shown the intent to see, the user is not able to see the asset, and the number of products with AR are very less. What are the 3 problems which I myself identified? So I sort of see, I'm a kind of guy, I'm a team player, right? The second thing which I did was I conducted a crowd testing. That I involved all the engineers, I involved all the developers, I involved all the designers in Lenskart. I asked them to do the same thing and give me the feedback on what do you feel is the problem. And the third thing was we also called in roughly 25 to 30 users in the office and said कि यार एक बार चला के देखो आप, what do you think is the problem and what will make you buy? And with all these 3 signals, we came up to these 3 hypotheses. So this is the first thing. Whenever you are given a problem, try auditing it yourself first, then try getting it audited with internal teams. And the third thing is probably also ask a lot of users too if they are facing the same problem. This will help you identifying the root cause of the problem, which is very important. Now that I have the root cause, which are these 3 things, so I should then work into like solve these. So now how do I solve it, right? So initially then abhi meko problem identify hui hai, I have to solve the problem. So there are a lot of moving parts here. I'll not go into detail. Instead, I'll show you. I'll tell you a different story, which will be much more romantic, right? But so we identified the problem. Now my next thing was, how do I solve this problem? My primary core problem was the asset का quality, right? So let's say out of my 6,000 products, अगर मेरे पास एक product भी है जिस पे AR दिख रहा है तो वो अच्छा दिखना चाहिए, was my motto. And if I'm able to identify that quality benchmark, what I have to do is I have to scale the whole catalog in that quality. That's it. उसके बाद once I'm confident कि let's say in 10 products पे I have the best AR experience, then I know the cheat code. I just have to apply that cheat code to the rest of my catalog. Will solve my problem. Right? Now, in order to solve this problem, what we did was पहली problem थी quality की. So there was a whole tech migration which we did. Initially, these guys created their own AR try-on back in 2011. तो गूगल का पुराना सा कोई तो एक मीडिया पाइप करके एसडीके आता है, right? They used to use that, which didn't have the support of reflections, renders. So if you broke down the quality into further parts, it is nothing but whether the object has reflections, right? How it is looking on the face of the user, and how colors are accurate or so sorry, colors are accurate or not. So what we did was we migrated to much more latest tech, which is AR Core and AR Kit. These are basically some tech libraries by Google and Google, which powers Android, and iOS, which powers Apple, which powers iOS. इन पे हमने migrate किया. That gave our 3D artists a lot of support from colors related to colors, renders, reflections, etc. The second thing was asset size बहुत बड़ा था, right? Asset size close करना था हमें. तो in order to do that, what we did was मोटा मोटा मैं टेक फ्लो समझाता हूँ. लेट्स से शोएब आता है, शोएब को चश्मा पसंद आता है, शोएब इस चश्मे पे क्लिक करता है. अब क्या होता है, जो ऐप है, राइट, द ऐप विल रिक्वेस्ट द डेटा ऑफ दिस प्रोडक्ट, द नेम ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, द इमेज ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, द 3D मॉडल ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. पॉइंट नंबर 1. देन एक सिस्टम तो ये चीज कर रहा है, ये डेटा लेकर आ रहा है. द अदर सिस्टम इज टर्निंग ऑन द कैमरा ऑफ द फोन इन विच शोएब का चश्मा शोएब का फेस दिख रहा है. नाउ दैट एसडीके जो गूगल ने बनाया है उस पे आई एम एबल टू सी मेश पॉइंट्स ऑन द फेस ऑफ द यूजर, एंड राइट हियर आई हैव अ रेफरेंस पॉइंट इन माय टेक. आई आइडेंटिफाई इट ऑन द फेस ऑफ द यूजर एंड आई मैप जो डेटा आ रहा है टू द फेस ऑफ द यूजर. दैट्स इट. दैट्स हाउ आई लोड द AR एक्सपीरियंस. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम वाज जो दूसरी सर्विस मेरे जो 3D मॉडल लेकर आ रही थी, कैमरा तो खुल रहा था, एसेट नहीं आ रहा था, बिकॉज साइज वाज वेरी बिग. What we in order to solve it, what we did was we archived, we sort of zip the files. Zip मतलब होता है कि थोड़ा सा अपना साइज रिड्यूस कर देते हो फाइल्स का, एंड यू अनजिप इट ऑन द एचडीके एंड. थोड़ा टेक फर्स्ट सॉल्व है ये कि रिक्वेस्ट जा रही है. नाउ द लोडिंग टाइम विल बी लेस बिकॉज द file you have to download would be small comparatively, and I am unzipping the file in the SDK itself. मतलब जहाँ लोड होता है मतलब वहीं पे मैं unzip कर रहा हूँ फाइल, ताकि यूजर को कम टाइम लगे चश्मा देखने में. That's how we solve the second problem. Now, once I was able to identify a sweet spot between these two things, I also added a few more things on the UX. Was the exit points. One is obviously कि चश्मा ज़्यादा ही अच्छा लग रहा है. I'm able to identify it from the expressions of the user. So let's say if I like something, I will like you. We identified these expressions because I'm able to track everything on the face of the user, right? That's where I used to prompt add to cart to the user. That whenever expression changes, you prompt the user to add to cart. It was an experiment which we tried adding. This was one problem which we solved. Second was I sort of created a mental model. So while I was auditing the experience myself, I used to go and buy eyeglasses, and I used to also observe other people when they used to buy eyeglasses. So whenever you go and buy eyeglasses, you take a +1 with you all the time. Just say yes if that is the case. My God, I think you guys are lost. I'm speaking to myself only. Guys.
Uh,
Two
Sir, if
yeses.
you'd like, we can allow mics for the participants also if you want a more interactive session.
Would be, I mean, would love to.
All right, sir. I'll just change the meeting settings and then we can just proceed. Just give me a second.
Let's hope that these guys will not abuse that. पहली प्रॉब्लम मैंने थोड़ा टेक अपग्रेड करके सॉल्व करी. दूसरी प्रॉब्लम मैंने एसेट्स को जिप करके सॉल्व करी. सिंपल प्रॉब्लम्स, सिंपल सॉल्यूशंस है. Third, I wanted to make it delightful for the user, right? In order to do that, I empathized myself with the users, that I used to go to the lens card stores and I used to observe people when they buy chashma. And the thing which I observed was कि nobody visits alone. They always carry a +1. Friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, family members. Because यार बताना यार कैसा लग रहा है मुझ पे, ये बताना यार कैसा लग रहा है चश्मा. Indians have this, and users have this feeling to get validations that whether the chashma is looking good on me or not. Was a problem which I identified offline. Now I wanted to add the solve for this online too. In order to do that, we added emojis that, whenever I'll identify facial expressions changing, if the customer is liking it or not, I'll just throw a gif and a lottie of hey, it looks fabulous, hey, it looks good, to add sort of a delight to the customer. Was one feature delight which we added. So in सबको combine करके it took us like 2-3 months and we then went live with around 100 products with improved assets, less size, and these delightful features. And trust me guys, moving forward when we scaled it, roughly मेरा 10% से business बढ़ गया था इससे. I was easily able to add roughly 10 lakh rupees का धंधा every day with this in a pie of 90 lakhs. तो 10% से सीधा सीधा मेरा business बढ़ गया इससे. So, that's how I build my playing ground. Are you guys with me on this?
yes, sir. We are.
Okay, sir. Yes, Shivam?
We are with you, sir.
There was so, whenever the core part of being a PM is how easily you are able to, how the level of empathy you have with your customers. For example, there was an interesting use case which we came across in Lenskart. So since I used to visit the store all the time, and I wanted to replicate the whole store ka buying experience on the app itself. How can I replicate the store buying experience online? जैसे ये emojis वाला feature हो गया, right? To complement it. और let's say increasing asset quality हो गया, validation हो गया, ये right सीधा add to cart कर दिया मैंने. is one thing. But there was one interesting problem statement which we came across, which was contact lenses. So AR, you can make it the best in the world by improving the tech, but contact lenses, right? The only way to try the contact lenses is by buying them. You cannot try them before you buy them. This was the problem statement which which I discovered at Lenskart. यार Lenskart में 15% business है contact lenses का, and people have to buy them to try them. चश्मे में you can try them and then buy them, but in contact lenses there's no way you can try them before you buy them. That's where I thought that, let's solve it with tech. I sort of created an opportunity doc कि 15% business मेरा contact lenses से आता है, right? And I'll be able to take, let's say, 50% of my customers to AR try on for contact lenses. Because Snapchat already had filters of contact lenses in which you will see your eye color will be changing. So I'll take 15% का 50% users को I'll get them to try this feature, and I'll assume कि इनका conversion 2x better होगा. If I benchmark it to existing AR try on users, and I presented it to Ramnik, and he was like, try करके देखते हैं यार, why not? And it was much more simple. All I had to do was, I already get the tracks of the customers, right? I just wanted to identify the pupils. Sorry, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? I think iris बोलते हैं, yeah. I just have to identify the iris of the customer or the end user, and I only have to map a translucent PNG image of the contact lens on their face. Was the solution. Now, there were some nuances in implementation, which were basically what we used to do was QC करते थे हम लोग कि एक build बना लिया जिसमें एक तरफ तो एसिड दिख रहा है लगा हुआ, एक तरफ असली में कॉन्टैक्ट लेंस लगा रखा है. So their quality should be same in both the eyes. So that level of depth we had to achieve before taking it live to the customers. Because let's say I have blue eyes, I try black contact lenses, which versus say Dhruv who has brown eyes, who is trying blue contact lenses or the same contact lenses, the output will be different for both the customers, because iris ka color plus contact lens ka color will lead to a third color. So that level of detail we wanted to achieve. That's where a lot of testing comes into picture. Yeah, I mean, so this has been so ये तो हो गया कि यार ideation से launch कैसे किया, right? With this there were a lot of good hypotheses also which I observed in Lenskart. Like whenever you go and buy eyeglasses offline, what you do is you select glasses, then you go in front of the mirror, you try one, then you remove it, you try other, ऐसे करके it's like 4 3 2 1. You select 4, then you prioritize 3, then 2, then 1. Is like a buying behavior of the customer. How I can replicate that on the mobile application. So a similar thing happens in the product listing page too. Let's say today Shoaib launches the app. I wanted to solve the same problem online too. So I also created a business doc and wanted to present it to Ramnik that, hey, let's create a AR trial room in which from the listing page the user will select the 3-4 chashmas. जैसे हम Blinkit में add to cart करते हैं items को. And then with those 4 chashmas, let's enter the trial room and let's give the user power to compare one chashma with the other. A versus B, B हटा तो हटा दो, right? A, C, D बचा. ऐसे करके the user will be able to come up. And trust me guys, I was easily able to increase the conversions by 8 to 10% with this. So in companies like Lenskart, Flipkart, right? Whenever these guys are coming to interview you as well, in future, or say Blinkits or Zomatos or Swiggies of the world, in which the end customer is you only, they will expect you to empathize with yourself a lot. And because they will be expecting you to come and apply the same principles while problem solving inside the company too. जैसे आज मैं चश्मा खरीदता हूँ, ठीक है, I create a lot of hypotheses कि यार I select 4, then I prioritize 1 is my buying behavior, is a hypothesis in my mind. Then I'll see that whether, so it's an hypothesis, then I'll validate it inside the store कि यार ऐसा होता भी है कि नहीं होता. Once I've got enough data, then we'll try to create a business case out of it. Let's say today in this store, 50% of the customers are showing this behavior, and I have, let's say, a store traffic of around 35 to 40,000, or I think the store traffic is roughly around 1 lakh right now in India. कि बहुत सारे स्टोर्स हैं हमारे, तो उनमें से लेट्स से 30-35 हजार लोग दिन में अगर ये बिहेवियर शो कर रहे हैं, तो मंथली that is a very big number. And if I'm able to solve the problem for those number of people, that will create a very good impact. So that's how you sort of present it in front of the leadership. So this is not only solving it for the customer, but also for the business. Now, one final thing, we went ahead with AR try-on. We created a very good business. Remember the two metrics I was hired for? One was to increase the adoption of AR, and the second was to increase the conversion from AR. So the adoption increased from 10% to 51%. Right now it's 51% as I speak. 51% लोग try कर लेते हैं अभी AR lens card पर आके. And the second thing is the users who are trying AR has roughly 3x more chance of buying a chashma as compared to the ones who are not trying AR. Is the current state of AR right now at Lenskart. By the way, I work with Blinkit Light right now. I'll tell you, I'll quickly tell you the last project which I did with Lenskart. So when I achieved these numbers, the conversions were good, right? The adoption too was good, but there was one thing which was bad, which was returns. What I mean by that is, let's say आज 100 लोग चश्मा खरीदते हैं, उसमें से 15 people return it due to these sizing, fitting issues, quality of the issues, they don't want it, yada, n number of reasons. But most of the reasons in them are sizing and fitting issues. You remember initially what I told you, what online business is trying to solve is how the chashma will look on me and whether it will fit me or not. So roughly 50 e-commerce में the standard return rates is 15%. 15% चलता है रिटर्न, तो इट्स फाइन. क्विक कॉमर्स में इट्स रफली 1%. 1% से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. बट इन e-commerce like Amazon's, Flipkart's or Lenskart of the world, that number is around 12 to 15%, and that is in standards for Lenskart. But that number for my AR try on users was 2x. It was 30%. कि यार भाई जो AR try करके खरीद रहा है चश्मा, उसमें से 30% users are returning the चश्मा. अभी AR बना लिया, अच्छा लग रहा है लोगों को, people are buying too, but when they are receiving it, the return rates are very high. And I was losing around 2.5 crores in revenues with that. So this was the last problem statement which I encountered at Lenskart. So in order to audit it, I did the same thing. I first audited the experience myself. And also I did a qualitative and quantitative research. खुद से ऑडिट किया तो एक चीज रियलाइज हो गई थी, मतलब कि अगर मेरा फेस नैरो है and I'm trying an extra wide frame that is looking the same as a wide frame, as a medium frame, and as a narrow frame. So irrespective of my face size, whatever the chashma I'm trying is looking perfectly fit on my face, was my hypothesis. So I think I felt that it is a tech limitation, but I wanted to validate it. So that's where I called customers. I called these customers. I wanted to talk to them who are actually buying and then returning. 80% of those customers told me that, sir, when we were trying the glasses, while trying those, we felt that they are perfectly fit on my face. But when I ordered them, it was either too tight or too loose. And when I looked at the exchange data, so there are two things. One is exchange and one is returns. My returns were anyways 30%, but the users who were exchanging, roughly 5% of my users, वो ±2 मिलीमीटर साइज के चश्मे रिटर्न कर रहे थे. तो लेट्स से शोएब का साइज मीडियम है, शोएब ने लेट्स से मीडियम चश्मा खरीद लिया AR से, तो शोएब इज एक्सचेंजिंग इट टू एन एक्सेल. और लेट्स से शोएब का साइज नैरो है, तो शोएब इज एक्सचेंजिंग इट टू बी मीडियम. दैट मीन्स इससे ये क्लियर हो गया कि यूजर्स व्हेन दे वर ट्राइंग द AR, the tech was optimizing the look aspect of it. That means irrespective of the size of the face or irrespective of the size of the chashma, it will make you feel that the chashma is perfectly sitting on the face of the user. which was giving the users a perception कि यार ये तो सही fit बैठ जाएगा मेरे, and they were ended up buying it because sizing, because the aesthetic issues were fixed. That was by roughly we were losing 2.5 CRs in revenue due to this. मेरा net revenue loss हो रहा था. This was the problem statement. Now in order to solve it, there was a reason to there was a way to audit the tech too. So tech was optimized on the look aspect, that जो भी यूजर के फेस का साइज होगा वो उसी के हिसाब से जो इसका मॉडल है चश्मे का 3D एसेट उसके साइज को मैप कर देंगे हम. That's how it was optimized. That was a limitation from tech. Now once I identified that root cause, I wanted to build a solution for it. So the first obvious thing which you should do while building solutions is look at the competitors. What are others doing to solve this problem? So Lenskart didn't had competitors in India. So we looked at like Warby Parkers and Jeans.us of the world, or Zenai Opticals. These are like some of the big eyewear giants in Germany and United States. What these guys used to do was कि जैसे ही चश्मा स्केल होता था, let's say शोएब का size है extra wide, I'm trying an extra narrow chashma, so ideally it should look small on my face. But my tech, what it does is it increases the size of chashma from narrow to wide, just because my face is wide. So it is scaling it by 10%. So just after it scales, just after your tech scales the chashma by 10%, they used to divide it by the same number, hence giving the user the perfect fit. क्या 10% बड़ा कर दिया चश्मे को, तो at the same time 10% छोटा कर दो. And you know that helped us. We sort of approached the problem in a same way, and we were able to solve the problem for roughly 70% of our customers. And also, in order for the delight factor, what we did was we added markers on the screen that hey, this glass might not fit, this glass may fit, this glass is a good fit. So today also, if you launch Lenskart app, there's a lot going about size, scale on the app, because these are the two key problems, that how will it look on me and whether it will fit me or not. And today as well, the business is optimizing itself to solve these two broader problems. So yeah, that's how like you ship products which are used by customers. Now when I joined Blinkit, I had different motivations of joining Blinkit, because I also wanted, I empathize with myself a lot because I'm a core Blinkit user, and quick commerce is the future for obvious reasons. I joined Blinkit, and due to these wacky stuff which I used to do in Lenskart and gaming industries of the world, these guys gave me merchandising and ads, that whenever a festival comes, we have to think of some innovative solution to hook the users. So do you guys know iShow Speed by any chance? iShow Speed, he's a streamer, matlab. He streams
We know.
a lot. What about the others? I think you guys can also unmute yourself now.
Yeah, we do.
So iShow Speed was in Europe once. You guys will not believe it. I'm telling you, he was in Netherlands, and he was taking a tour of a museum. And in that museum, there was a screaming meter. जहाँ पे he screams and there's a scream score which comes. So I had that in mind, and we already knew that summers are coming, people buy ice creams, so we should do something about ice creams. So that's where I told that, hey, why shouldn't we do scream for ice cream? जो भी तेज चिल्लाएगा उसको ज़्यादा discounts देंगे. Initially it felt like bit gimmicky idea, but when we did a POC, it kind of made sense for us. And guess what, we like went live with it. Like it's been a month, I think, now, and the results were super crazy. We went viral on social media. I think you guys already know Scream for Ice Cream. So that too is one thing. That's how you just have to so I believe in one core thing, which is idea is nothing but new combination of old elements. That's how an idea is made. पुरानी चीजों को नए तरीके से मिला दिया तो आइडिया बन गया. Now just you should know how to sell it, and you should know at the end of the day your customer should benefit from it. Uh, so I think this has been my story of projects, right? Now, how to build an appetite for product was also one more thing which I wanted to tell you guys, right? So initially, when initially right after college, when I identified that hey, I have a passion for problem solving, and in long term, I want to start something of my own. These were the two things which I identified, but there's a gap in that. In order for the in order to fuel my hunger for problem solving, I have to do a number of things. I knew that I want to be a product manager. I want to be a product manager in a consumer tech company, right? I want to improve the daily. I want to work on the products which customers use daily. So that's where I came across a few books. I these are not your cracking the PM interviews, or these are not the books which will help you crack the PM interviews, but these are the books which will help you understand on why things happen in general. Just say why Facebook acquired Instagram, right? Or why say Elon Musk acquired Cursor recently, or why BlackBerry flopped, right? Why iPhone worked, why Nokia is irrelevant these days. Questions like this you will be able to answer. At the same time, what is the thought process behind building products which you use currently in your day-to-day life? For example, you guys must be using Netflix, for example. You guys must be using a toothbrush. There has been a lot of innovation, right? Which has happened behind that toothbrush as a product too. So, once you understand that why behind everything, then it will sort of create product sense inherently. That whenever in future, see, I'm not going to give you gyan on how to prepare for product management interviews, because in the fourth year of college, people have very wrong perception that hey, I don't want to do coding. That is why that is why I want to become a product manager. And that is why most of the janta right now, they skew themselves towards books which help them excel the product interview and not let them excel as product managers. So I think if we guys still have time, let's excel. Let's build that appetite first to empathize more with the users. For that, I have created a few slides. You guys can, read these books. These three books are more than enough for you to build a product appetite. These books are recommended to me by some of the great people. So Extreme Right book was, I recently came across this book. Albinder Wright, he's the founder of Blinkit. He uh, he recently, like when I joined Blinkit like 7 months back, he asked me to read this book, right? The one in Extreme Left was suggested me by one of my bosses so he was the boss in my uh, first company, and he was also the boss in my second company too. He sort of poached me from first company to second company, but he suggested me the first book. And the second book is something which was suggested to me by Ankit. He was the founder of PM School, which is recently acquired by Nextleap. So, these are the three books. If you read these, they don't require any sort of tech knowledge. Trust me, they don't require any sort of tech knowledge to go through. You just buy them and start reading them. You'll feel good at the end of the day. At the end of the day, trust me. And whenever you're having conversation with others, the perspective will change, and also जो दुनिया को देखने का नजरिया होगा or the way you interact with apps will change after reading these books. So this will sort of create a foundation of you in product management, or let's say entrepreneurship also in general, because the first and third book, they both are the most recommended books also for the hustlers and the entrepreneurs of the world. So once the baseline and the benchmark is ready, what you guys can do is you guys can then probably start preparing for product management interviews. It will make it much more easier for you as well, because there you'll not get stuck in, let's say, thinking solutions. For example, today I tell you that hey, let's improve Google Maps. So your brain will not go blank. You will know on how to approach the problem. And then when it comes to solutioning or identifying the right problem to solve, these books, the learnings from these books will help. Because I'm sure there are other things to help you prepare for product management interviews, but these are the books which will help you like develop product sense from core. So yeah, I think this is that's all from my side. I think would love to talk more from others as well. Probably Shivam, if you have anything to ask, would be more than happy to answer. Anything which I missed, would love to cover that too. Or we can also take
Uh,
questions from the crowd as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insight and experience with us. I'm so
Call me Shoaib, Shivam.
no, no, yeah.
I call Dipinder Goyal also Dippy. There's no sir culture in startups in India. I also call Piyush Bansal Piyush. It is a known thing. You can call me Shoaib.
Okay, then
Please.
I will call you Bhaiya.
No, bhaiya. You won't believe it. While I was giving the talk, my designer texted and she's like 4 years senior to me from the same college only. But I call her Namrata only.
Uh,
Please,
so for
you were saying something.
so for now, we will now move on to the Q&A session. Participants are allowed to raise their hands or drop their question in the chat box. We encourage everyone to make the most of this opportunity to interact with the speaker. Okay. Yeah.
So I think Shivam just said you guys can raise hands and ask questions. Would be more than happy to address those. Let's Dhruv, let's utilize next 15 minutes for this and then probably uh, we can conclude the session maybe. So I think you
Yeah.
guys can raise your hands and
Sure.
ask questions, or you guys you want them to like type the questions and then I'll
We've given them the mic access so they can do it directly if they want to.
got it. So guys, you can unmute yourselves and probably ask questions
Yes,
or
sir.
probably
Hello.
raise hands and then I'll ask you to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
I had a question like you said
I mean
the
just
role of PM.
yourself. Hi Aditya. Yes. Please tell
So
me.
my question was like you said role of PM varies from company to company. Can you
Yeah.
like little bit elaborate more on
Hmm.
that?
Sure. For example, when I was in the first company, I was in Head Digital Works. They used to build like real money games. जैसे the core loop of that game is you and me, we come on the table, we add real money, let's say $100 Aditya ने डाले, $100 Shoaib ने डाले, the winner will take say 180 rupees and the platform will take 20 rupees was the model. तो यहाँ पे the PMs used to own features, so I was the product manager for Carom कि 0 to 1 Carom बनाना है शोएब को, right? So usually in a company what happens is a product manager thinks कि यार this is the problem, this is the solution, and this is the solution which we should build out of 4 solutions. Prioritize कर लिया and you have to build this solution. Now you have to write a detailed doc for that which we call as PRD. Now what happens is then you give a brief to the designer that hey this is what I'm thinking right now, let's create a design for that. So in that company, there were no designers per se. The product managers were required to create the designs. And then they used to hand it over to the devs for like development. So that was one thing. Second thing was, let's say when feature is live, you track it. You track the success of the feature, that you know whether the feature is performing as expected or not. This is, for example, I launched AR, right? So whether my adoption numbers are looking fine or not, or whether my conversions are looking fine or not, I have analyst for that. But in my second company, we didn't have analysts. So the product manager is required to write their own queries, write their own trackings, create their own dashboards to track the numbers. In Blinkit, we don't have QAs. So when a product is built, right? You write a PRD, you hand it off, design is done, tech is done. Once the product is created, there's a dedicated testing team in all the companies, जिसको QA team बोलते हैं. But in Blinkit, product manager is required to make sure that the product is working end to end fine. तो वो टेस्टिंग वाला काम प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर करता है. So in Blinkit you are also expected to be a QA. In Play Simple you are also expected to be an analyst, and in say head digital works you are also expected to be a designer. So that role at core वही होगा कि you will be given problem statement and you have to solve it. But मैंने ये इसलिए बोला था कि the role will vary company to company based on the fact कि कितनी teams exist करते हैं. So in some cases you'll have to work as a designer, you might have to work as an analyst, you might have to work as a QA. That is the core sense of ownership. So let's say Shoaib today is owning Scream for ice cream, right? So Shoaib have to make sure that, hey, in next 10 days I have to take this live. If I don't have the designer, I'll try to allocate the bandwidth. If the company doesn't have a designer, I'll have to design it. That's what CEOs also do, Aditya, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
company to company, the role varies. So there are companies who spend a lot of time in identifying the problem और solution वो copy कर लेते हैं सीधा. तो यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर क्या करेगा, उसका काम ये चीजें बनाना. तो 70% ऑफ द टाइम वो प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई करने में लगाएगा, जो एक एनालिस्ट का काम होगा. और जब सॉल्यूशन की बात आएगी, जो लीडरशिप बोलेगी कि हे लेट्स बिल्ड दिस बिकॉज द प्रॉब्लम इज दिस, सो व्हाट ही विल डू इज ही विल गेट इट डन, ही विल एग्जीक्यूट इट बिकॉज द बिजनेस. सो दोज आर बिजनेस फर्स्ट पीएम्स. देन लेंस कार्ट में ऐसा होगा, इट विल बी मोर ऑफ लाइक कस्टमर बैकवर्ड्स, दैट हर 3 महीने में या हर 6 महीने में वी आर हैविंग अ सेशन इन विच वी आर आस्किंग अ लॉट ऑफ यूजर्स एंड देन वील से कि यार 100 यूजरों से बात करी या 250 यूजरों से बात करी, 50% ऑफ यूजर्स आर सेइंग दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. तो पीएम विल वर्क ऑन दैट एज अ प्रॉब्लम. तो यहाँ पे पीएम इज एक्टिंग एज अ कस्टमर सपोर्ट एजेंट टू, बिकॉज द कोर गोल ऑफ पीएम इज टू ड्राइव द बिजनेस, राइट? So the PMing as a role is expanded horizontally on the floor. हर team से you will be talking as a PM moving forward. Your role will not be limited to tech or say business. You'll have to talk to all the teams. So you'll have to be jack of all and master of some, not none, but some. So moving forward, try building that forte that, hey, you are good with data, for example, you are good with design. Because a PM is required to know a bit of everything on the floor because they are the owners, they are the drivers. कुछ अच्छा होगा तो PM को वाई मिलेगी और कुछ बुरा होगा तो PM को गाली पड़ेगी. That's ownership.
Okay, sir.
I
Thank you.
hope that answers the question, Aditya.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shrishti, you have a question? Shrishti, you are on mute, I think.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
I am Shoaib. Yeah, hi. Hi, Shrishti.
Hello, sir. I would like to question you a thing
Sir,
about this phase.
yes, please tell me.
Since we are in the phase of the product management that transitions from idea to launch, I would like to know your insights that how would you handle a user feedback that directly contradicts your product vision during this phase?
See, Shrishti, I think these things happen. Let you. So usually in this case, we find a middle ground. So let me give you an example. Recently in IPL, we ran an activation in Blinkit in which you have to play a game, and let's say if you perform well, you will get say discounts, good discounts, and if you don't play, we will give you just say snitch का coupon दे दिया या फिर let's say rare rabbit का coupon दे दिया. Now what happened was we went live with the campaign. So the customer started complaining that, hey, we are not getting the rewards because they were getting confused that उनके जो कूपन्स वाला पेज होता था जहाँ पे वो रिवॉर्ड मिलता था, वहां पे गेम की लोगो आती, वहां पे स्निच की लोगो आती थी बिकॉज द कस्टमर हैज वन द स्निच का कूपन, राइट? सो वहां पे स्निच का लोगो दिखता था. सो द कस्टमर्स यूज्ड टू कंप्लेन अस दैट, हे, मुझे तो कुछ मिला ही नहीं, आई प्लेड द गेम बट आई डिडंट वन एनीथिंग because that link was missing. We used to tell the customer that, hey, you have won the snitch voucher, and in the collected rewards page there was a snitch voucher. So they used to think, यार कुछ दिया ही नहीं तुमने. So in order to do that, what we did was, we, instead of showing the snitch logo, we started showing the game ka logo. That was the user first answer, which we figured out that, hey, in order to solve the customer problem, let's do one thing. Let's, instead of showing the snitch ka logo, you have 125 rupees off on snitch. We'll show the game ka logo and then snitch ka coupon ka tagline. We ran that for a week. We didn't got any customer complaints because the customers were able to associate कि हाँ यार snitch बोला है और ये logo दिखा है, game का दिख रहा है. So I'm able to establish that, I won this reward from the game. Now at the same time, what happened? The business, the snitch team, they lashed at us कि यार आपने हमारे कूपन पे हमारा लोगो कैसे हटा दिया, दूसरा लोगो कैसे डाल दिया. And we are pulling away the PNL of 10-15 crores. And we'd not like to associate with Blinkit. So they wanted us to add the snitch का logo. Now अगर मैं snitch का logo add करता तो फिर customer first answer नहीं होता वो, और customer first answer करना है तो business first answer नहीं है. So this was the problem statement which we recently encountered. So in order to solve it, we sort of created, we came on the middle ground. So usually जब भी customer की request product vision से align नहीं होती, वैसे ऐसा case नहीं बनता है primarily सृष्टि, because all the customer first companies run customer backwards only. So product vision customer से align नहीं होता. Usually ऐसे case Blinkits और Zeptos में तो कम ही बनते हैं मतलब. But still, a similar case which I encountered recently, in this case we find a middle ground. In this, what we did was in that real estate, उस कार्ड का कलर हमने गेम की तरह कर दिया और लोगो स्निच का लगा दिया. So we created a visual first solve for that, to inculcate the business need and also to educate the customer that, hey, you have won this reward from this game. Now coming on to your question कि यार customer complaint is not aligning with the product vision. I was thinking of an example, but usually if it is a very pressing complaint, for example, that, hey, for example, किसी product का price 0 rupees हो गया है, yeah, a customer is receiving bad quality products, and my company's vision is to expand the stores, expand as many stores as possible. So in this case, there is a dedicated team usually, and we prioritize the customer request first. If it is a lot severe, we'll prioritize customer request only as a customer first company. Product vision फिर थोड़ा hold पे चला जाता है मतलब, because that is again visionary thing. Customer is a priority usually. And in most of the cases वैसे होता नहीं है, and if both of them are priority, we try to come at a middle ground. Just like the example I told you about the IPL game. Shristi, hope that answers the question, or like you need more.
No, sir, it's clear. Thank you, sir.
I think I have a few questions from the comments too. Pranav is asking that recently completed MBA and was thinking to do MBA. Is it worth it? I think see, nowadays, if you want to pursue product management after MBA, I'd say MBAs are good to have, not a must have, because I also have not done any MBA right now, and my fellow colleagues are MBAs. So unless you don't have aspirations to go to, say, big tech companies in US, or say in consulting or investment banking, for product management, MBA is not a must have, but a good to have. Because let's say if you prepare well, if you like product sense बन गया, जो किताबें बताएंगे मैंने पढ़ने को, वो you have appetite and you are able to clear out the interviews, you can easily get in as a PM easily. You don't have to do an MBA for that. MBA का यूज केस तब आता है जब let's say you have to go to consulting, investment banking, general management, right? Seniority roles. But for product management, it is not a must have. It is a good to have. The other question is, I think Dominic also had the same question. Dhruv, please read. Any more questions, guys? One more thing, if you want, I think I'm very much active on LinkedIn too. You guys can add me on LinkedIn just in case. I've added a QR too. You can just scan it to add me on LinkedIn. If you guys have any doubts, would be more than happy to address them too on LinkedIn.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have a question that is PM a fresher-friendly role? Because most people I see on LinkedIn also, they have pivoted from their domain knowledge and then chose the PM path.
I mean, I joined as an APM right from fresher, Sajal. So I think these days, and see, I was from the unlucky batch, by the way. I was from 2021. So merit at my time, the placements were online. So I'll tell you my part. We only had like a single product management role opening on the on campus when we were interviewing because COVID shattered everything. But then, I utilized my eighth semester, right? Polished my concepts. And there are a lot of companies which hire APMs, Sajal. And APMs, the expectation is right out of college. So there are a lot of AI startups these days. There are a lot of Series A companies. They just look that, hey, whether you have hunger to build something and learn new things and you have curiosity or not. That will be enough for you to join as an APM in any company. There are a lot of companies. There are a lot of startups. So there's also so people say that there is also one way to start a startup is to join a startup right from the beginning. So that in 1-2 years जो काम करोगे वहां पे आप it will be equivalent to say 5-6 years in a big company. And then either you can go to a PM in say consumer tech companies like Blinkit, Lenskart, Zomato, or like start your own company. So there are companies which require prior experience. Say for example, Lenskart never hires APMs. Lenskart hires a few experienced folks in product. But in my initial companies, they hire APMs right from college only. So it's just that you just have to identify right companies.
So
Or
it's better to approach startups for APM roles rather than big companies.
I mean, you can directly text the founders. They are pretty much active on LinkedIn too. I also used to reach out to a lot of founders when I was looking for jobs off campus. And but abhi to AI and all bhi aa gaya hai, so you guys can probably automate or probably create an agent to do the same for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Read my question in chat. Pranav.
I had a question.
Yes, Pranav. Yes, Nikhil.
What exactly do companies like Lenskart and other companies which hire freshers expect from product roles or, as you say, PM?
Point number one, Nikhil, they मोटा मोटा यार दो चीजें देखते हैं यार. First thing is hunger to learn, business sense, and customer empathy. तीन चीजें होती हैं बस जो देखते हैं. हंगर टू लर्न इज समथिंग जो आपके बात करने के तरीके से या फिर जो कॉलेज प्रोफाइल है आपकी द the type of students who like don't study don't are not involved that much in academics are organizing say festivals or cultural fests technical fest और जो भी सारे फेस्ट होते हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम academics को करिकुलर्स में ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व है वो एट द सेम टाइम दे आर डूइंग समवॉट इन एवरेज राइट दैट मीन्स दैट दे आर एग्जीक्यूशन हैवी signal number one. Signal number two is ability to do problem solving. Problem solving is mota mota tera business sense. That whether you are able to understand ki how a company is making money. Where exactly is the money coming from? This is something which you can read from the internet. That how Google is making money, how Amazon is making money. You can categorize. So let's say if you want to learn business sense in general, what you can do is so in the morning I was taking a lecture. I was telling this to the fellow group also. Create segmentation of companies. Ola, Uber, Paytm, PhonePe, Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, Instamart, Blinkit, Urban Company, right? ऐसे करके segmentize them and just internet पे search करो कि what is the business model for these companies, how these companies earn money. That's what will sort of add business sense in your mind. Point number two हो गया ये कि the end guy with hunger also should understand business कि धंधा चलता कैसे. This will also help you ask a lot of questions. So let's say you are talking to me. So you'll ask me that, hey, you are a PM. What do you do, right? What part of business do you own? How much is the daily business? You'll ask questions like these. this is the second thing. Third thing is customer empathy, which is a must have in product management, that whether are you able to empathize with the end customer. Point number one. Point number two, are you able to prioritize? कि यार 4 चीजें लाके रख दी मैंने इसके सामने, इसके पास 24 घंटे ही है. So is he able to smartly prioritize that, hey, I should do this first, this second, this third. And I have a bias for action that, hey, Shoaib, you gave me 4 things. I'm only able to do one thing because this requires this has this urgency, this has this level of impact which it will unlock. I'm not picking these 3 because one is more priority right now. These 3 things, apart from 4 things, I'll probably pick tomorrow or day after. ये 3 ability होनी चाहिए मतलब इंसान में एज एन एपीएम जो देखते हैं. बिजनेस चमके, थोड़ा एम्पथाइज कर पाए, वो प्रायोरिटाइज कर पाए, और हंगर होना चाहिए. हंगर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Hunger also tells ki if they'll ask you कि यार down the line where do you see yourself in 5 years, so you should have a like very good answer to that question. Am I with you guys? Hello?
Yeah, thank you. Got it.
Pranav, my mic is not working. Could you? I have recently completed my BA and was thinking to बता तो दिया I think. Pranav, MBA वाले का जवाब दे दिया मैंने already. I think Khushi has a question that she's pursuing BCA and she wants to switch to product management. Yes, you can try building like product sense, try building a bit of business sense. The way I told you a few minutes ago, segmentize the companies and manually search that how these companies are making money. And hunger is what is required from an APM. Guys, any more questions? Sir, what to do for shortlisting resume? So Himanshu, first of all, don't get it generated from AI. Is the answer. Is the basic thing. Because think like this. Let's say today we are 28 people on the call. सबके सब अगर AI से CV बनवाएंगे तो the output will be very similar. So try going to the basics, right? And in order to get your resume shortlisted, there are 2-3 things. First, don't completely rely on AI. If you want to make a product manager's resume, right? If you don't have any relevant experience, try looking for internships. Keep that on priority. Or say any projects for case competitions in which you have taken part in, your achievements basically, which showcases that, hey, you have ability to break down complex things into measurable insights. And then extracurriculars always help. And whenever you're writing the content, it should be impact first. So for example, I was the GS of Brahmaputra Hostel. I used to say that elected student representative and led the hostel in winning the sports general championship, which happened for the first time in 12 years, something like that. So it should be impact first, not execution first. Or today, let's say I say that I increase the conversion of lens card by 12% by introducing AR trial room. So your content should be problem solution first or impact first, and then the supporting thing. Here, मैंने ये चीज बढ़ाई, and this was the reason. Should be the narrative of your CV. So that's how you will design a CV. Try writing it yourself, and then probably what you AI कब use करना है आपको? AI use करना है. Let's say you have a job description ready, and you have your own CV. Now ask AI to vet your CV against this job description. That's where, and then ask AI for the feedbacks कि यार क्या feedbacks है मेरे CV में इस job description के against क्या feedbacks हैं, and then work on those feedbacks and add those in the CV. That will increase your chances for visibility and getting accepted. instead of completely relying on AI to like get your CV done. How to get good internships off campus? I mean, there are a number of reasons to do that. First of all, reach out to people you know who are working in product already. They might. Uh, this is one thing, easiest way. I mean, just say you know someone who is a product manager. Just ask them to like take you as an intern for say 6 months under them. Second thing is cold reach out the founders. So इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. Y Combinator के website पे जाओ. Uh, you know Y Combinator, right? So there's a startup school. They they usually back startups. They usually back good ideas. Just get the list of startups who just graduated from Y Combinator. They have funding, so they hire talent, right? Reach out to the founders of those companies for internship. Point number one. Point number two, search on internet कि यार किन companies ने Series A, Series B funding उठाई है अभी. Just get the list of those companies. Get the list of founders. Try reaching out to them on LinkedIn. Then there's lusha.com, LUSHA, which helps you find the contact numbers. Try using Rocket Reach as well. Just add a extension of Rocket Reach that will give you the mail of the founders. Send them mails that hey, congratulations on the recent funding. I want to contribute towards your product vision. My thought process sort of aligns with your product vision, and I want to contribute too. But since I'm in college, would love to work as an intern. Something like that. तो मोटा मोटा समराइज करूँ तो look at YC, Series A, Series B funding वाले startups, reach out to their founders. Now you also have AI. Just get the list of founders too, get the list of their emails too, and just draft a copy for everyone, which is personalized according to their company, their vision. Just send it across. That's how we used to get us professors for internships back in college. That's why I reached NCR. I reached out to Abhishek Bora. He's a dear friend now. He's a professor in NCR for marketing and AI. That's how I met. I used to shoot at least 200 to 300 mails every day to the professors, and roughly one used to reply, that too with a negative response. But with consistency, say you'll find the right founder, startup, or professor.
Uh, I think everyone has asked a question, so
I had a question, last question.
okay.
Yes, Nick.
Since as we say that PM is a non-coding or non-tech job, but in the AI era, everything revolves around the AI and tech. So how much should a company expect to know about tech and AI?
See, first of all, let me be clear. It is just the college fourth year and third year in which people think that PM is a non-tech job. Because it's been 6 years for me. PM is considered as a tech role only. PM as a role is technical, very technical in nature. Because you will be closing roughly 60-70% time, yeah, 50% time, though you will be spending with devs only. So there is a dedicated course of tech for PMs as well. तो सिर्फ कॉलेज थर्ड फोर्थ ईयर में बोलते हैं कि भाई पीएम इज अ नॉन टेक जॉब बट इट इज अ टेक जॉब on the floor in Blinkit, in Lenskart, in any company, PM is considered as tech. Point number one. Point number two, you asked that with emerging AI tools, what was the exact second part of the question, Nikhil?
Yeah, like a lot of things today revolve around AI. So even if we are applying to some startup or something, we are expected to know a lot of AI tech. So that's
I
what the
think
question.
not. I mean, see, there is a quote from a very famous author. I'm not able to recognize his name. He says that let's say 10 years down the line, he's an artist. So I want to focus on writing and I want AI to do my dishes rather than I am doing the dishes and AI doing the art. So what people seek for, what people look for when they interview for product is basically how efficiently you are able to use AI to enable you, and don't rely on AI. That how easily you are able to like create PRDs, how easily you are able to create designs using AI, and do you have that sense to give feedbacks to the AI कि यार कम से कम प्रॉम्प्ट्स में ज्यादा से ज्यादा आउटपुट निकाल लूं मैं, इज समथिंग दे लुक फॉर.
Okay.
Uh, so thank you, Soeb Bhaiya, for taking the time to be with us and for sharing your valuable insight and experience. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining us and making this kickoff session of Product Mega System to a success. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, Bhaiya. Have a great evening.
Thank you. One last question. I think top AI tools you use to do market research. Dude, I use Claude. Reddit, see, I I do a lot of research on Reddit. Reddit is raw, right? Reddit is not biased too. And then a lot of secondary research I like doing on Cloud only. That helps. Cloud का thinking अच्छा है काफी, but slow है थोड़ा. So we have luxury of Cloud. We have like $200, $100 of credit in Cloud. So, but you can also use ChatGPT. It is very good. It has very good appetite to like for research. Yes, Midun. One last question. Midun, please go ahead.
Hello.
Hmm.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Hi, I'm Mithun. I'm doing MCA in Christ University. Like the thing is, I want to know how the PM should start with. Currently, we start as a startup called EcoMold, a B2B company. Like I am more interested in product management also. I done 3 months of internship in Navriti Technologies in Bangalore only. The thing is during my internship session, they are focused only on the outcomes, like particular session. Like I want to know here is how to start, like how to follow a particular line. That's it.
Line, what do you mean by line?
Like a particular line means uh, the beginning, like beginning of PM. Like what should I focus first?
I mean, read those 3 books first,
Okay.
right? Once you have that in space, so I'm writing that in the comments. Lenny's podcast, if you guys have time, right? I mean, not recommending it. So I think हमने बहुत सारी चीजें cover कर ली हैं. 0 to 1 में you guys can read the books. Then you have all the interview preparation material. If you have to create this your daily habit, you can go for Lenny's podcast. He will tell you that what is going on in the world. He is roughly things like 5 years ahead of the world, right? He told like 3 years back कि Anthropic का भाई अच्छा है भाई. Product managers at Anthropic are the best. 2 years back, I think, right? This will create sort of a foundation. Interview prepping is completely a different thing, but if you want to reach out to the founders, I already told that, just get the list of companies जिन्होंने recently funding उठाई है, reach out to their co-founders that hey, my thought process aligns with the company's vision and would love to contribute something in lines of that. I think we are slight over time, guys. You guys have my LinkedIn. You can reach out to me as well. Would be more than happy to answer there as well. For now, I think Shivam, Dhruv, if you like to add anything else, would be very good, or else we can conclude the session.
No, Bhaiya. So you can wrap up now.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Bhaiya.